Hello again. Sorry for the glare. Still working on my A to Z embroidery stitches. I'll be working on this for the rest of the year, I think. There are so many of them, and I am only on B, and I'm only on the blanket stitch, but that's okay. Today is the circle and the scallop, and here are my previous scallops. And the reason that I am redoing my scallops is because this other gal did them on the other side really skinny, and I want to try that. Mine are really fat, chunky. That's okay. But circle first, and it's right here, and I didn't get any directions for it. I've done a bazillion blanket stitches at this point, and I think that I can figure this one out. My circle was too close to my words, so I redrew it, and hopefully that will not be too terribly confusing for me. I started to redraw it in black, and then I was like, you know what? I should do that in red so that I can see it. So, and I'm going to go a little closer. I may have drawn my circles too far apart, or I may have drawn them too close together, and instead of being able to do it in one motion, I might need to do it, ouch, in a poke and stab motion instead of one motion. That's like the 5th time I have stabbed myself today, in case you're wondering. And theirs are stacked right up on top of each other, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stack mine right on top of each other. I'm going to do poke and stab because I don't want to stab myself again. The hardest part that I have with circles is and everything ends up slanting. That probably could have been a little bit closer together. Try to go a little bit closer this time. On my yarn that I'm using, I did not pull off any this time because it's so green. Where I finished off is really green and less blue, which was the color that I was kind of using last, was a blue, more blue over here. I got the yarn, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, which is possible, I got the yarn at the thrift store, and it started out obviously in burgundy, and I thought, oh well, I'll just do this with this one type of yarn, and then I'll have a whole bunch of colors, except for by the time I finished the letters, I was still on burgundy. So I have been pulling off little hanks of yarn to get to the next color so that this would actually have a little bit of color to it and not just be all burgundy. Because Lord knows where I would have ended with the burgundy. There was still quite a bit left. So this is going to take me a little while to get around. So as usual, I will come back when it is done. I don't think you want to watch me just sit here and struggle around this circle that I've drawn. Probably way too big of a circle. But there it is. And I'll be back and we'll talk about the scallops. I took a bit of a break because I had some plants that I needed to get in the ground because it's gardening season. I came back muddy because it's still spring. I've been working on my circle, and I got to here, and I thought to myself, that doesn't really look like the picture. Kind of. But I wonder what it would look like if I went smaller. So I've been going half the distance. This thread, yarn, whatever it is so fuzzy that I have to do my stitches in like 4 parts. So first I go down, then I try to figure out where I'm coming out. Then I go through, and I have figured out that if I hold these away from each other, it will actually get all the way up to a knot. And I keep plucking off little bits of fuzz. So, I still have, I don't know, a quarter of my circle to go. This is not fast yarn at all, or thread, or whatever you want to call it. It's sock yarn. That's what the label says it is. Wool sock yarn that I got at a thrift store. But it's pretty. I really like it. It's very pretty. I like the way this panel is looking. It's just that I really have to go slow. So I have this much more to go, but I also have to go make a cheesecake for a birthday. So I'll probably work on this while the cheesecake is baking, and then I'll be back, and I still need to do my scallop. Okay. Cheesecake is waiting for the oven to warm up. I finished the circle. I'm not in love with this green section of the yarn. It looks dirty to me. I noticed that the smaller you go with the stitches, the more likely it is to stand up, which could be a design element if you were looking for that. This could also be a design element with a skinny on one side and fat on the other. I'm ready to do the scallop part. In the directions, you do a running stitch, and then you do your blanket stitch closely over the running stitch, keeping the stitches as close to it as possible. I had considered doing a different shape, and then I don't know how to draw, so there's an extra line there, but all of that will literally come off in the wash, I hope. And if it doesn't, I will think that it should have. Her knots are on the bottom of the scallop, so I'm going to have to hold it upside down. Also, now I'm going backwards from what I usually do, but we will give it a go. So, through, I'm almost ready to put this in a hoop. Me and this yarn getting along so well, you know. A little stringy piece there. My phone's going to ring in a minute. I'll move it out of the way because I'm expecting a call. Oh, 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 I don't know what I'm doing. Goodness gracious. Wrong side. Not on camera. Probably most of my stuff is not on camera. So basically this is going to be exactly like that circle, only not round, is what I think. And I also think that it too is going to stand up some. So we're off to the start, off to the races, and I will be back when I get back around. Okay, I finished the scallops. I like the green better over here on the little slightly bigger stitches. I am so inconsistent on my stitch size. Oh my gosh. I also went backwards from the direction that I usually go, and I had no idea what to do right here at all with that. But that's okay. Again, it's a learning experience. So I have 2 more blanket stitches to go. Triangles and raised. I'm looking forward to the triangles at least. I'm excited about that. So I will talk to you all next time. Thanks for watching.